Hi,
Hugo, hi, nice to see you.
nice to see you too. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, thank you. I'm looking forward to it, and it's an honor to be part of one of these.
No, thank you so much. We're very honored to have you on the chat as well. So let me introduce. This is Hugo Brady. Hugo won our Virtuoso Prize, which is our top prize at the 2018, the first New Talent International Youth Music Competition. And Hugo studies at the Center for Young Musicians, London. So yes, I'm very excited to catch up with Hugo after 2 years and find out what he's been doing. So Hugo, today is Sunday. What's a typical Sunday for you?
Typical Sunday is now my sort of only chilled day. For most of my life, I played rugby and then I played water polo on Sundays, and then just the end of GCSE year, which was last year, I
Mm,
decided to stop that because I was doing music college on Saturday, and before that, I was in a youth chorus on all day every Saturday as well. So I
mm.
always had full weekends pretty much since I was like 6 or 7. Um, so it's pretty nice to have one day of the week off actually. So I'd just be chilling, a bit of practice, and yeah,
Sounds lovely.
yeah.
Yes. So has the pandemic caused much sort of disruption, confusion to your schedule?
Yeah, I mean, luckily, no one in my direct family has been affected badly, which I'm very grateful for, of course.
Mm.
And my school have been keeping up with a full sort of timetable since the beginning, pretty much.
Yeah.
So they're very organized, and I'm actually grateful for that as well. Which is, you might think I would want a bit of time off school, but actually it's been great to fill my days. I think it's easy to just get bored and complacent and a bit, yeah. But so yeah, since the beginning of lockdown, my school has been keeping me busy pretty much, and CYM has done online music college on Saturdays as well. So I still get to have lessons with my singing teacher John, and also my percussion teacher and percussion ensemble and online chamber choir as well, which is kind of odd but cool.
Yeah, lovely. Because CYM recently had its however many years anniversary gala
Yeah,
thing, right,
50 years, I
online.
think.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yes. Do you miss the sort of in-person
Yeah,
ensemble playing?
yeah, of course. I mean, a huge thing about CYM, I think for everyone,
Mm,
it is the friendships that we have, and you know, just hang out at lunchtimes and in little 10-minute breaks between each lesson, and then also the playing and the singing. It's just not the same. On online chamber choir, we can't sing all together because the difference of the bandwidth speed or whatever it is. I'm not technical, but yeah, and same with percussion ensemble. It's just not the same, and it's great to see everyone's faces, and that's
mm.
a big sort of pick me up during the week. But yeah, it's not the same as feeling, physically feeling uh, people singing around you. Like, yeah, it's just not the same.
Yes.
We're
When did you
hoping to get.
start, Hugo?
When did I
When did you
start at
start
CYM?
singing?
Oh, when did I start singing?
No, singing.
I think I was about. I mean, to be honest, I do think I've always been singing, but I started singing seriously when I was about 8. I auditioned for the Youth Opera Company at the Royal Opera House, Covent Garden, um, and yeah, I got into that. So I started taking it pretty seriously then. That to this day is still one of the most amazing experiences of my life. I got to spend 5 years going to the Royal Opera House every Saturday, um, and performing in the children's choruses and performing in our sort of devised performances on the Limbury stage and performing in big operas on the main stage and galas and lessons with amazing principal singers, and yeah, meeting people who would become my heroes. Yeah.
Fantastic. And did you sort of get to perform and rehearse on the main stage?
Yeah, yeah, no, I did. I performed in La Boheme. I did the boy solo in that, and there's a really awesome part for the children's chorus in that with Parpignol, the toy seller, and I was in Carmen, and that, I mean, they're two of the biggest operas at the Opera House, and I think most houses in the world, they're real crowd pleasers. So that was amazing, and then yeah, we did an amazing thing on the main stage called Hot House, which was a project with lots of people, including Gareth Malone, who does all the choir, the
Mm,
military choir, and lots of those things. And they included a youth orchestra and a youth ballet company and our youth opera company. So we got to work with lots of different types of artists and yeah, opened my eyes to lots of things that I hadn't. I mean, I still don't know anything about ballet, but
mm.
it opened my eyes to lots of different things.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
it was.
Yes.
I'm still very grateful for it. In fact, before lockdown came in, the Opera House had set up a sort of a graduate company for the graduates of the youth opera, and then
Mm.
in the holidays or on the Saturday, instead of the sort of every Saturday that we used to do, um, we would get together and I remember last time I went, we had a mock audition with a big audition panel, and they tried to make it as much like a proper audition for an opera company as possible. So that was really useful, and just working on building scenes. We did the Papageno duet on the magic flute, and workshopping different things and different skills for a career in opera, whether it's singing or playing or behind the scenes or just uh, being an opera enthusiast or a music enthusiast.
Mm.
Not everyone wants to do it as a career, and some do. And
Fantastic. And as a singer, I guess you guys need to have the extra training of languages as well.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
how many languages can you sing in?
I have sung in English, Italian, French, German, Spanish, a little bit. I think that's it. I haven't done any Russian or Czech yet, which are the other ones. For opera, especially when you have Eugene Onegin and amazing Czech operas and Janacek, and so I really want to get into that. Actually, I have been starting to do a bit of Duolingo on Russian, but it's very slow. It's very slow progress. It's really difficult. Oh my gosh, it's so unlike anything. I study Spanish at school
Mm.
at A level, and I never really studied any other languages properly like at school. Um, I love singing in German. I've done lots of Lieder. I'm gonna sing a little something in Italian later, I think, for you. Um, yeah, I've been getting into more French melody, the Fauré and Debussy and Duparc, and yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah,
It's
I'd like to do more.
such a sort of magical world that through the different languages you get to access the
Yeah,
different
I love it.
music. Yes. So because I know last time we spoke that you said you really really like your teacher at the moment,
Yeah,
John from
yeah,
CYM. What
John
do you
Nicholson, yeah,
Yeah.
genius.
So what do you think is the thing that you find in a teacher that you think that's I really like that teacher. That it's a really fantastic relationship and experience.
Yeah. Um, it's a tricky one. It's so many things. For me, this is personal to me, but when I went to John, my voice was sort of starting to change, and my voice changing was a very gradual process. And he's a real sort of expert in that area in guiding people through that change. And there used to be a thought that when a boy's voice starts to change, they should just stop singing for a while until it was completely settled, and then they could start again. And John certainly didn't do that, and we sang through it. And he gave me only repertoire that was completely comfortable by my voice. He didn't push me to do low notes or high notes. We just picked things that I could do easily. And I think there's a lot to be said for just singing with ease and yeah, just picking things that can be comfortable at the time until you're ready to push yourself a little bit more because young voices are extremely delicate things, I
Mm.
think. So beware if you're a young person and your teacher starts to push you to do things that your voice doesn't feel ready for. And I think that's yeah, I think that's really important. Find someone who you know is going to be sensitive and careful. I think that might be the most important thing for me.
Fantastic. So how what's your plan for the summer? Has anything sort of planned and then got cancelled? What do you have for new
Yeah,
plans?
yeah. No, a few things got cancelled. Sort of summer schools. I was hoping to go on
Mm.
a like choral course, and though I'm hoping to do an online summer school with Guildhall. I think that came through CYM because CYM is like a branch of Guildhall,
Mm.
and so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's sort of discussing university music and conservatoire music and what the benefits of each are. And I think we're going to have some individual sessions with some tutors. I actually did a summer school there last year at Guildhall, last summer, when we could see people and sing for people.
Mm.
The good old days. Um, so yeah, I did the summer school for classical singers, I think it's called, and it's yeah, that's great. I would recommend that to anyone in the future when it opens up again. It's a really great course. You just spend a week. It's intensive sort of master classes, uh, language classes. There was some Alexander technique. Um, yeah, things like that. That was great.
Yes, no, fantastic. Alexander technique is so important.
Yeah,
Um,
have you worked on Alexander technique?
yes, but I
Yeah,
don't think I worked on it as much as I should have done.
right.
But every time I did, it was very beneficial. It just brings so much awareness to your body, and I think as musicians, we tend to sometimes forget that our body is part of the thing that we do.
Yeah.
So you know, it's very beneficial.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, as singers, I I think especially, I mean, our body is our whole instrument, and it's not just this, and it's not just like the diaphragm. You know, your whole body is the thing that gives resonance to your voice, and to know how to take care of that is as important as anything else. Yeah,
yes. So
I'm sure
Hugo,
it, I'm sure it's important for string players and brass players as well.
yes, no, because we should treat the instrument as sort of, you know, an extension of our body.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
because we're the
Hugo,
same.
well, last time you told me you've sort of made your mind up about
Yeah, I
going into music. Um,
think so. Yeah, scary.
Very exciting. Yeah, scary, but very exciting. So you know, I'm just curious to know what was there a moment that sort of you thought I could do this or I want to do this, or was it a sort of gradual process?
Yeah, I was definitely the latter. It was definitely a gradual process. I didn't have a an epiphany. Um, I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that. I've had um, loads of cool experiences from the Opera House and CYM. I think it's just been really gradual. I mean, I've been singing for a long time, and I've been taking it seriously. And I mean, I think it's sort of settled in the last like year that I want to do it professionally. But I think it's definitely been a long time coming. I think it's just the amazing youth programs out there. I think I'm really lucky to live in London. That's that's been a big part of it because there are some amazing opportunities here. Um, and yeah, I grew up in a household with some classical music, but it wasn't like it was just sort of given to me. There are opportunities out there, and you can take them. And I think yeah, it was definitely a slow process. What was your best youth music experience, Michelle? Was it NYO? You were in NYO, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
So I think the National Youth Orchestra definitely was a great influence for me before I chose to go to music college.
yeah,
And I think because I was part of a youth orchestra back in Beijing when I was very little, I think that's always been part of me as growing up. And that was, like what you have every weekend. You never really have a free weekend.
yeah,
Um, but it was just so um, it was very inspirational, very influential for a young person, and the friends that like you said, the friends that you meet, and it's like yes, hard work, but then you get to do it
yeah.
with your friends, so it's really fun. So I think
Yeah,
it,
it's a
it's
powerful thing to be surrounded by like-minded people and people who are passionate about the same things. It makes you feel like, that you're not the only one who cares about, this dying art, which is
yeah, no, I think with us and then with you guys coming along, I don't think it's going to die. I think it's going to
yeah,
flourish.
yeah,
Because many
completely.
people love it. Yeah, no, so I think it's great that you have um, chosen to go down the sort of professional music, and it's such a big world, right?
Yeah.
So a lifetime is not enough to explore all
Hmm.
the wonders of it, and so that makes it an excitement in on its own.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
so you've got a year left before you go to a music
Yeah,
college.
yeah. And actually, I haven't really fully chosen yet if I'm going towards music college or if I'm going towards university
Mm.
for an academic degree first, and then yeah, whether that's post grad after that, or I'm not sure yet, to be honest. I think they both have amazing advantages, and I think there's something to be said for singers,
Mm.
maybe even male singers, um, to go and let the voice naturally mature and settle a little bit more um, for a few years, and then go and do post grad because the voice matures really slowly. You know, my voice is certainly not like finished maturing or settling. So I think there's something to be said for yeah, going and letting it do its thing naturally, and then going to conservatoire. But also, conservatoire has amazing benefits in terms of like performance opportunities, and yeah, so it's a tough decision.
Mm.
But
Well,
I'm just going to cast my net wide, and I'll just have to make a decision at some point. But I'm putting it off.
yeah, well, just you just need to see what suits you the best because everybody sort of grows and develops at different
Yeah,
speeds and different
yeah,
ways. Yeah. No, so you've got a year. So I wondered because and also you said you're someone who likes to prepare for things, which is wonderful. So I just wondered, being you, you must have a sort of a plan for this year.
yeah.
How would you? So what is your sort of rough plan? What's the structure of the plan?
Yeah, I mean, I have been for quite a long time like researching the options that I'm thinking of, and I have been actually during lockdown singing for a few people at at colleges and at universities um, on Zoom on online, which is weird, but I've sort of got used to singing. One actually weirdly singing unaccompanied and two, singing online. And singing unaccompanied, I used to be terrified of, and it's such an exposed thing. I don't know. It's really weird. Like you practice unaccompanied in your room or whatever, but I don't know. I didn't like the idea of performing without someone with me on a piano.
Mm.
I didn't like that idea, but now I'm fairly comfortable with it. So yeah, that's what I've been doing up until now, singing for a few people, and then pretty much I'm gonna be putting my UCAS application in by October, I think, because it's like early entry for certain universities and uh, music colleges as well. And then I'll just see what if if I get auditions, and I'm going to try and uh, narrow down my repertoire. I've been learning a lot of stuff, so I want to sort of narrow down. a selection of things that could be nice in audition and have nice contrast in it. I think it's important to, yeah, if you're doing three pieces for a panel, and that's meant to sort of represent where you are as a musician or as an artist or as a person, I guess, then that's hard to do. That's a narrow bracket. You're meant to represent where you are in three pieces of music. So I'm going to have to work hard on deciding what they are and showing off the good parts of my voice and leaving the bad bits somewhere else. Um, yeah, that's that's my plan.
That sounds good. Yes. So currently, well, I just wondered because you said your voice is still developing right
Yeah,
now. Sort of, is there any restriction on how long you should be sort of practicing singing every day?
yeah, oh yeah, definitely. My teacher tells me not to practice too much every day, and if I do, break it up into more than one session in a
Yeah.
day. So don't he says don't really do more than half an hour in one session, and if you want to work more, then you just wait for a few hours and then you come back to it, which I found really helpful actually, because I have been a few times when I just want to nail a certain part of a piece,
Mm.
or I'm just really confused about some rhythm and I just like keep going over it again, and it's not really that good. You just sort of get caught up. I don't you sort of stop learning. I think maybe this applies to not only voice, but yeah, it just gets a bit sort of just like you're punishing yourself and just doing things over and over again. But yeah, you have to rest your voice. There's no point in just tiring it out, because then you might have 2 days after that where it's not feeling good, and then you don't know what the long term repercussions of that are going to be. That you might have some vocal problems in the future if you're singing too much. So yeah, try and keep it light, and actually practicing in your head is a thing that's underrated. Listening to a recording of an artist you really respect, listening to what they're doing, reading a score a lot, reading it with a recording, reading it without a recording, practicing in. I practice in my head a lot, and maybe I've got problems. Maybe that's weird, but I think it's actually really good and it's underrated. You don't have to do a big sing to practice. You can just do it in there.
Yeah, no, it's very true that practicing in your head is very important actually for I think for all instruments because sometimes we get so busy and overoccupied by what noise we make.
Yeah,
And we really need that sort of space in our head to really analyze
yeah.
and process what we need to do. Yes, no, it's very important. Very good advice.
Thank
Yes.
you.
So Hugo,
You know, yeah.
how would yeah, sorry.
I was wondering. I had a question for you that I was thinking of, and I wanted to know what your original motivation was for starting the competition.
My original motivation. Um,
Yeah.
it would be, and it's still my motivation today, so that hasn't changed. Um, I think it's because my personal sort of background.
Hmm.
It's so I was born in Beijing so I lived there until I was 15. I went to school in England when I was 15. Through and I did a lot of music in both countries, and I felt I received a lot of benefits and personal growth through doing music in with people in these countries and also attending festivals, etc., in other
Hmm.
European countries and other countries. And I think that's what's made me the musician that I am today. The way I see the world, the way I see things, and the way I am. So I think if I were able to provide that sort of platform for young
Hmm.
musicians from different corners of the world, that they get together and showcase their talent and hard work, because learning a music instrument, including singing, is a challenging thing because you have to
Yeah.
really commit. And we all go through different phases of our lives where sort of having the time or the energy is difficult. But you stick to it. So I think that should be celebrated. So if everyone get together, celebrate that.
Mm,
In the meantime, get guidance and advice from really good people, and then
mm.
potentially make friends from, a different country, and then but you have similar interests. I think that's a really nice thing to then move forward. So that's my motivation.
Yeah, that's great. It actually it felt quite like a celebration when I did the competition. It was not just, a slightly intimidating thing of competing. I still don't have much experience in competition apart from this, and I was pretty nervous. And yeah, when I went, it felt more fun and more excited than it did nervous. Yeah, there was a feeling of celebration, I think, which was cool.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that makes me very happy to hear from you, because whatever we do, the center is always you guys. So
yeah,
what's important is how you feel, and what you get out of it is the most important thing for me and for my team. Yeah, so no, I'm glad that because you won our top prize, and also I remember your mom talking to me after the competition about how it was your first competition,
yeah.
and so how was that? Because a first competition is always quite a nerve-wracking experience. What was your sort of emotional process of this competition back in 2018?
Yeah, it it came through CYM, I think, the email again, which is another great opportunity. CYM is great for that. Um, and yeah, I think I just thought might as well. I hear my friends who are musicians, they do competitions, and yeah, I was just wondering what is that like? I had quite a lot of performance experience, as I've talked about, solo performance experience, ensemble experience, and yeah, I didn't feel like competition was part of my musical self, but I just thought, yeah, might as well give it a go, and yeah, I just got there and it was fun. Yeah, it really was more fun than it was scary, and yeah,
Great. Like great. That makes me very happy indeed. Yes. No, so this year we're having to do it online because of COVID. Hopefully that will go away soon, and I hope that our audience and our community are all staying well and healthy and not get too affected by it. But it is a worrying time for a lot of people. So we are moving it online, and children and well, young musicians from 4 to 30 years old would need to send in their recording.
hmm.
Do you have any experience in recording your own performance for an audition or something like that? Do you have any experience or advice to share?
I have a little bit, and only from I think really only from lockdown. Maybe a few things before that. I mean, I recorded something for the CYM gala, for example. Recorded a little Schumann song, and I've done some stuff for choir, and that sort of thing. Don't be too self-conscious. You're noticing things that are really tiny in yourself, even if it's in your playing or if you think you're looking weird on screen. I mean, it's so weird to be singing and looking at yourself. It is really, really odd. But yeah, just know that the person who's going to watch it isn't seeing what you're seeing. They're seeing the big picture, and they just really want to listen. And I'd say don't be too self-conscious. Yeah, I think that's really important because I've had
Yes,
to learn that, definitely.
yes. Well, so Hugo, do you have a sort of a short piece that you're going to
Yeah,
perform for us? What
sure.
is it, please?
It is from Handel's Rodelinda, and it's an aria called Pastorello d'un povero armento.
Fantastic. Great. So
Yeah,
you are having to do it without accompaniment.
I am. I'm just going to get a note because I don't have perfect pitch, which I'm ashamed of. I wish I did.
No, don't be. Most people don't
All
have.
right. Pastorello d'un povero armento pur dorme contento, pur dorme contento, sotto l'ombra d'un faggio d'alloro. Pur dorme contento, pastorello d'un povero armento, pur dorme contento, sotto l'ombra d'un faggio d'alloro. Pur dorme contento sotto l'ombra d'un faggio d'alloro. Io d'un regno monarco fastoso non trovo riposo, non trovo riposo. Sotto l'ombra di porpora ed oro non trovo riposo. Sotto l'ombra di porpora ed oro. Pastorello d'un povero armento, pur dorme contento, pur dorme contento, sotto l'ombra d'un faggio d'alloro. Pur dorme contento, pastorello d'un povero armento, pur dorme contento, sotto l'ombra d'un faggio d'alloro. Pur dorme contento sotto l'ombra d'un faggio d'alloro. Thank you.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
I love that. It's I just think because singing is sort of within the music sort of instrumentalists. I don't think we hear singers enough, and I do make an effort to listen to you guys as much as I can.
Thank you.
It's beautiful because your phrasing is so natural. Because on the instrument we are to some degree restricted by the techniques, whereas
Yeah.
we should always listen to you guys for the phrasing, the long phrases and the natural shape of the music. No, it's beautiful. How long have
Thank
you
you.
worked on this piece?
On that piece, I think I've known it or I started learning it about 4 months ago, maybe. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yes. And the Italian is really good.
I love Italian, yeah. It feels very natural to sing in, and the vowels are quite similar to Spanish, romantic languages. Um, yeah, it does feel pretty natural, easy to get those sort of bel canto phrases. I mean, that's Baroque music, and it feels pretty close to bel
Mm,
canto to me.
mm. And you did absolutely fine without the compliment, so don't worry.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, so no, Hugo, do you have any questions for me?
Um, uh, no, I think I've asked them. I think it's fine.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you so much, Hugo, for your time. I just
No, thank you.
hope I hope our audience and you um you all sort of go through this period still with the focus and still with the motivation to keep working on your music, because the future is bright. Even if we're going through a challenging time, but with all the CYM and other institutions, organizations all doing similar things to try to keep our performing arts industry going, and young musicians can still keep learning. So yes, no, I'm very hopeful for the future. I hope you guys are too.
Definitely.
Yes, let us know how you get on, and if you have any questions any questions regarding music college or whatever,
Yeah.
get in touch.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Hugo, for your time and for your performance. It's very beautiful.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. Bye. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.